funky.
Is being strapped. My first memory as a child is being strapped down with belts to a chair while a dentist rips out all my teeth as I scream bloody murder against my will. That's not true. But ever since I was little, I've had a really intense fear of the dentist. I'm not sure why. I mean, yeah, going to the dentist is a bit freaky, but even as an adult, I understand the fact that I'm not in any danger, and the dentist is just trying to pick out bits of plaque I've built up over the past 6 months. If anything, I should be scared of how much they charge. Even though I know this, my body still shakes uncontrollably when they do anything more than floss my teeth, which is still kind of scary because they're always so aggressive about it. Every memory I have of going to the dentist while I was a kid is filled with me just bawling my eyes out during the entire process, and then getting a little toy from their toy machine because I was, quote, so good. I mean, you're not fooling anyone. Even I knew that was just a loadable. I still want it. When I was in 6th grade, my parents decided to finally slap some braces on my mouth. My teeth were pretty straight, but I had an overbite, so I just looked like a nice horse. My mom made an appointment with the orthodontist to talk about the process, and while there, he told me I've still got 5 baby teeth, and I'll need to pull them out before I get braces for common sense purposes. So they sent me out, and I basically had a month to pull out all 5 teeth before they were gonna have to rip them out for me, which I did not like the idea of. The imagery of them sticking a needle in my mouth fueled both my motivation and intense, overwhelming fear, and I wiggled those 5 baby boys every single day since that meeting. A few of them weren't even wiggling yet, so it was gonna be a race against the clock. Does anyone want to get into a fight? By the end of the month, I managed to pull out 3 teeth on my own. A PB. But it wasn't enough, which meant my mom was gonna have to schedule that dreaded nightmare appointment where they were gonna shove needles down my throat. I was in the living room and could hear her make the call, which made my stomach sink, and I felt petrified that doomsday was going to be my reality in a few days. I could hear them preparing all 100 needles and barbed wire over the phone. That little reality check was enough to fear charge me into new power levels, because maybe an hour or 2 after she confirmed the appointment with the orthodontist, I'd ripped out the last 2 of my teeth. The conversation where my mom had to cancel the extraction appointment 2 hours after she booked it was the biggest feeling of relief I've ever had. She also ended up paying me $75 because she said I just saved her like $500 for yanking the teeth out myself and not having to pay the dentist to do it. The tooth fairy been scamming me for years. What a happy ending to the story. June went on to never have anything scary done to her teeth. She continued to live a happy life, only needing to go to the dentist for cleanings and no freaky mouth procedures for the rest of her days. She got her horse teeth fixed, and the rest is history. Last year in June, I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out. My wisdom teeth had been growing in and shoving their aggressiveness into the sweet harmony of my existing teeth for a few years. My mom intended to get them removed when I turned 18, but I think she forgot, and I thought I could get away with it, but they were starting to get really painful and annoying. One was coming in sideways, which made my gums get in the way while I ate, which made me only chew food on the left side of my mouth for like a whole year. I'd had enough and figured I just needed to get it over with and have them ripped out. I scheduled an appointment to get them removed on June 11th and braced for impact the rest of the week. Before the extraction, they wanted to have a meeting with me to discuss the process of what they're doing and how they're doing it. They put on one of those 90s informational videos, and everything seemed fine until we got to the part where it was talking about sedation. In the video, they said that some sort of gas is used to induce conscious sedation, the kind that makes you really loopy and not remember anything. But then the nurse piped in and said, "We don't do that here," and let the video continue. So what? I'm just gonna be fully conscious while you needle and drill and probe my mouth? Answer the question! After the video, I said, so is there a way I can be at least semi-unconscious for this? The nurse prescribed me medication called Valium that'll help calm me down, which was relieving to hear. All I wanted was to not be conscious. I picked it up and the day came. Excited to not be conscious. My roommate and I got into the car to take me to the appointment, and that's when it really sunk in. This medication isn't doing anything for me, and I am extremely conscious. Do you have any chloroform? Apparently, Valium's supposed to relax you enough so that you're awake, but don't really care what's happening. But by the time the dentist was calling me back to the chair, my nerves were still going haywire. Proof of consciousness. I desperately asked the dentist if I could take another one because one pill wasn't doing enough for me, but she said I'll be fine. Okay. They laid me back in the chair, put that mouth opener thing in my mouth, put sunglasses on me so I don't hurt my sensitive little eyes, and put the first needle into my mouth. And that's when I couldn't hold it anymore. Fear was overwhelming me the entire day, but that was the moment it really got me. Tears burst down my face and I was trying desperately not to make that annoying noise when you're trying not to cry too hard, but you need to breathe, but you breathe too much. I kept apologizing because I knew physically I was fine. There wasn't any pain I couldn't tolerate. They hadn't really done anything yet and I was being irrational. But just the idea that I was awake and present was so intense and I couldn't handle it. I didn't do that, but I wanted to. I was able to compose myself after a few minutes and they kept going, but the sounds of them sawing my tooth in half and yanking it out of my gums, and God knows what else, probably just playing tic-tac-toe with needles in there for the heck of it, was horrifying. I'm not scared of much and I'm relatively reasonable for the most part, so it was really surprising and eye-opening to feel genuine, uncontrollable fear. Like, my head told me things were okay, but my body was freaking out. And then my head was like, dude, chill. And then my body was like... All in all, everything went well and I was able to go home after they finished up a few hours later. Since I wasn't drugged up and just super numb, I didn't have much recovery to deal with other than swelling, and I kinda just chilled for the rest of the day watching YouTube videos. The dentist even told me I can eat normal food and wasn't restricted to just soup as long as I was careful. I ordered a smoothie bowl to my house, and when I opened the door to take it from the guy, I didn't realize until afterwards I had blood dripping out of my mouth, so luckily he didn't call the police. I was trying with 100% focus to not bite my tongue because I couldn't feel it at all in my mouth and was at high risk for just biting a chunk of it off without knowing. The smoothie bowl had sliced strawberries on top, and you don't realize how much sliced strawberries resemble the texture and sound of biting into a tongue until you don't know where your tongue is in your mouth and also can't feel anything. Is that my tongue? If I had to get my wisdom teeth out again, I highly doubt I'd be this freaked out about it. The hardest part was just not knowing what was going to happen and not being able to brace for it. But afterwards it was like, that wasn't too bad. But also thank the holy merciful gods that I don't need to do that again. So I've got an update. I think I've just been going to a not great dentist. I originally went to them for a retainer and they were like, this is the place that did my wisdom teeth, by the way. So I went to them for a new retainer and they're like, oh, we can straighten your teeth a bit first with Invisalign. And I was like, well, alright, sure. My teeth are already pretty straight because of the braces, but I was like, sure, whatever. They said it'll be done in 6 months. 6 months pass, and none of my teeth align right when I bite down anymore, and it's extremely uncomfortable. Then they're like, let's file your teeth down to line up again. And 10 minutes of teeth shaving later, they're like, it's not working, let's get more Invisalign. And I was like, and when I mentioned being unsure about things now, they were like, it's normal for Invisalign to last for 2 years. And I was